recently did my video about the transmission pan, filter, and fluid replacement on my 2022 392 with almost 80,000 miles on it. Got over 80,000 now. I've had it out and about now for a couple weeks, but when I went back and reviewed my video again, I realized I left out a fairly important part of the refill process. So I want to give an update here and talk a little bit about the way I refilled it and what I've learned since then. Procedure for the fill, I kind of skipped over some important parts. And the first thing is, when you watch the video, you'll notice that with the vehicle on level ground, the pan is nowhere near level. This is a stock 2022 35s. It's sitting in a level garage, but the pan itself is far from level. It's leaning way towards the back of the vehicle. So when I undid the bolt for the fill, fluid came out. And because you want to have the same amount of fluid going back in as the amount of fluid coming out, I needed to measure how much came out. So I had a pan under there, and it was a little over half a quart. So I needed to get that half a quart back into the transmission when I refilled it. The problem with that is when you're on level ground and you pull the fill plug, it automatically starts draining because the pan itself is not level in the vehicle when the vehicle is level. So I had to jack the back of the vehicle up some to make sure I could get that little bit more than half a quart back into the vehicle without it spilling back out the fill port. And in order to do that, I had to get the back of the vehicle or the back of the pan up higher than it was. Crucial part that I left out there about how I filled it properly. Is a half a quart enough to damage anything? I don't know, but I wanted the exact same amount that I took out to go in, or at least as close as I could get. My video has been out a couple weeks now, and a couple of my friends locally that have Challengers have seen it, and they were telling me that they've already done the transmission. They just went and did the put your foot on the brake, slowly put it into gear, count to 10, shift up through the gears, shift back down through the gears. They say do that 5 or 6 times and then take it for a short ride and come back and verify. I am not saying that's what to do. The procedure says to do one thing. I did it by the procedure, but I've had 2 very reliable people, one of them who's a mechanic at a Dodge dealer, told me that yes, he's done it and it hasn't been a problem. So I hope this clarifies some of the questions that I was getting. And the procedure really isn't that bad. It looks more complicated than it is. There's also a video that one of the guys told me to check out. And I'm going to put a link to that. It's not specific to a 392 Wrangler, but it may be helpful to some people out there. Now you see it's not that hard to do. You can do it yourself. And I would highly advise doing it sooner rather than later. Thanks again for watching, and please like, subscribe, share, and comment. Help me defeat the YouTube algorithm. And if you have any questions, maybe something else I might need to clarify, please reach out to me or leave a comment and I'll answer it as quickly as I see it. Thanks again for watching.